Get ready, because Banter with Richie B Productions is launching an all-new podcast network. 4 shows, 4 hosts, 1 powerhouse of paranormal and cryptid entertainment all week long. Ghost Cats and Cryptids, joining the Banter with Richie B Podcast Network every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join researcher Jean Tewskbury as she dives into the world of mountain lions, the elusive predators known as ghost cats. Jean also explores cryptids, separating fact from folklore and asking the questions others won't. Kick off your week on Tuesdays with the one and only Wojo, host of Home of the Boom. He's diving deep into the world of cryptids, Bigfoot, and the mysteries that shake the woods. Interviews, investigations, and the loudest boom in the cryptid community. Every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays get a little darker and a whole lot prettier. Join Sam from Sam's Pretty Paranormal, where makeup meets the macabre. It's Sam After Dark, spooky storytelling, and her fan favorite segment, Cooking for the Dead. Tune in every Friday from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for glam, goosebumps, and all things ghoulish. And every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the flagship show returns, Banter with Richie B Live, featuring Richie B and Wojo. From updates to investigations to wild discussions, this is the core of the network. Raw, real, and always unpredictable. Spend your Saturday evenings with the duo that started it all. 4 nights of content, 4 incredible hosts, cryptids, ghosts, glam, stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. This is the Banter with Richie B Podcast Network.
Hey everyone, sorry, having some severe technical difficulty tonight. I am so not even close to being technically knowledgeable on this stuff. And not everything played like it was supposed to. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode. Hey Sam, good to see you. Giovanni, good to see you. Lori, Curious Cryptids, glad everybody can pop in tonight. Gary, Andy, how are you? I'm going to just scroll through real quick here and try to see if I can catch up. Seems like it's a lot of everybody saying hi to everybody. Hey, John, how are you? D-Hoot's in the house. Yay. Let's see. Whoa, Joe. Good to see you. And Dr. Montea Drama Therapy. He's back. Okay. I'm almost there. Let's see. Denny, hey, how are you doing? I was so excited for this show tonight, and Sam came on earlier to try to help me get things going here, and I went to download all the photos that I had sent over, and I can't get them to come up, which is very, 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 very disappointing, because I downloaded a crap ton of photos to go with this whole episode, because this episode is one of the just fascinates the heck out of me, and it's just genetic anomalies in big cats. And I already had a bunch of research on it, but I did a deep dive into it. And go fetch him. Thank you, D-Hoot. And yeah, so I did a deep dive in, and I got some really awesome photos and stuff that I was so excited to share. And if I have to, I'll pull them up on my phone and stick them right up close to the camera. I don't care. But with the genetic anomalies, with what I do with my research with the big cats and stuff, I get a lot of reports, and some of the reports have to do with large black panthers. I do not care for the term black panthers because there's not a species that is actually black panthers. It's usually jaguars or leopards with melanism. There has yet to date to be an actual documented sighting of a mountain lion with melanism. They say it's impossible, but I do not think that it's impossible. Anything is possible, especially the research that I did in learning about the leucism. I always say leucism because that's the way it's written, but with a leucism, because that is extremely rare. And in the research that I was doing with at least pumas, panthers, mountain lions, all the same animal, it is very, very rare. There has only been 4 cases that have been documented. So for one to have melanism, it may be rare, but it's not out of the question, I don't think. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I keep up with all the chat. Sorry. So yeah, with melanism is a genetic disorder that darkens the fur of the animal, making it either very, very dark to jet black, depending on what the animal is. And it is a genetic anomaly disorder that happens with a lot of the big cats. And with the big cats, it's usually with jaguars, leopards. It does happen in tigers. And it happens in some smaller cats too, like bobcats. They say that it happens with a few others too, but it doesn't happen in mountain lions. It doesn't happen with African lions, is what they're saying and stuff. Waiting to see what she just waiting to see. She says she just woke up curious, LOL. In the U.S., the United States doesn't have 4 documented one. Are you saying the black ones? Because I can't find anything on them. They say that they do not exist. With the white ones, it's not in the U.S. There is one. It came out. It's an article actually came out of Texas, Tyler, Texas, in 2016. A landowner got video on his property of what he believed to be a albino mountain lion, and that is very, very rare. And the sheriff's department went over, and the investigator who was on scene at the time was looking over the stuff. And he actually, he was like, the thing moved like a cougar. The thing leaped over a 6-foot little riverbed with ease. And so he thought that the whole thing had been doctored. And then the more that he talked to the landowner and other people around, he realized that it was actually very, very possible. The issue that they had, though, when they turned it into, other people into like the inland fisheries and stuff, was the fact that the video was taken on a cell phone and it was 50 yards away. So they said that it wasn't quite up to par. The other sighting that happened with a white, and it was a leucism puma, and that was in Brazil, and that was actually all over social media at the time. That one happened in 2013. And it was actually caught on a trail camera. And the reason that they say it was a leucism was because the eyes were still the actual color. If it's albino, it's going to have the red eyes, the pink nose. And the only thing about the puma was that the fact that it was all white, and it was a rare sighting, but they did actually get that on a trail camera. Yeah, people, they report seeing them all the time. And I can't dismiss things that they say about seeing them black, but it has not been documented that there are black cougars out there. There are jaguars that are out there, and I wish that I got these damn pictures up, because there's some beautiful, beautiful pictures of melanistic jaguars, and they're awesome. Hey, previously possessed. it's awful. I was so excited for this, and I saw one of those photos because I love this topic, and I love the fact that with that being said, with the, there's so many there's so many sightings of them, but they're not documented because they've not actually gotten a photo of the cat or gotten any kind of, evidence of it. It's just people saying they've seen it and they report it. It's not quite what they expect when it's documented. They want a lot more proof, which I don't understand a lot of it. Why do they think they deny cats existing in our forest and people even show proof? That's a good thing, because Lori, that's an excellent question, because I actually have videos of mountain lions from trail cameras of people that I've talked to, investigated, and I showed them to my local current biologist and stuff. And one of them, he was like, no, that's not it. That's not what it is at all. And I was like, excuse me. And I went over the whole, what happened. And when I did a photo like reenactment, even though the cat wasn't there, so I could get other images. And there was a stump that was almost 2 feet tall that you can't even see in this photo because the cat blocks it. And yet a month prior, that gentleman's cousin actually got a photo on his property, which is adjacent to his. And he looked and he said, well, I would say that would probably be a cougar before I'd say the other one was, but he still wouldn't say that it was. And I never understood that. So that's a great question, because there's people that do. Everybody keeps saying too, on a lot of the groups, well, there's not any photos, there's not any trail cam stuff. And there is, but most people dismiss it or get laughed at. And they're like, that's not even from around your area. That's from someplace else. And it's very, very, very hard. And it's frustrating for a lot of people. The third one that I know of, because I couldn't find a fourth, but the third one that I know of was actually, and this one wasn't leucism. It didn't have leucism. It actually was albino, and it was a baby puma that was born in the Thomas Bell Zoo in Nicaragua, and that was just a few years back. And there was photos all over social media. Sorry, guys, under the weather. It's okay, Richie. I'm glad you made it, but you need to get rest, because you've been under the weather for a while and you really need to feel better soon, dude. Soon. And that one was all over social media, but it was the way that they wrote it up was just kind of funny, because it was like, oh yeah, it doesn't have leucism. It's actually albino because it's white, it's got a pink nose and red eyes. It's like, okay. Yeah. But so it just makes it interesting, because if they're so rare, why is it so hard to believe that there is a black mountain lion out there somewhere? You can't, when you look up the conditions of like melanism and leucism and albino, it will go over stuff, and it says that there's a chance for all animals to have it. It's mostly found in like squirrels, they say foxes, jaguars, leopards, things like that, but it's not something that there's a chance. It's you just don't know. Yeah. And then, so with going on to that though, then you move on to like, I was looking into the jaguars, because I do know that there's melanistic jaguars and they are black. The issue with anything that's got melanism and they want to call it a black panther is you can still see the spots underneath it. It's not jet black, and the spots are already, let's see, what do we got here? Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Jean, and everybody. Yeah, so I want to thank Lori. Yeah, Richie, please get some rest and feel better soon. So with the jaguars, though, when you look into it and stuff, it's funny to find out that they actually 10% of the population to up to 15% have melanism. So it's not uncommon. It's actually kind of a norm that there's, black jaguars out there. So when people say they see them in the Southwest and stuff, their range for jaguars is in Central and South America, but they used to have territory in North America, and there has been sightings and trail cam photos and proof that they've moved, that they're still moving back and forth between Mexico and Arizona. And so why wouldn't, well, Joe comes to the plane. Shut up. Okay, now Richie and Wojo going back and forth with shut up. You guys. So you have to think, though, that if there's that high of a percentage with jaguars having melanism, and they are known to be traveling back into the Arizona region and stuff, why wouldn't you, expect that you might see one? Although it's not a mountain lion, it is another animal. But they still, even when people report seeing that, they get laughed at or told, no, that's not what you're seeing. And I don't understand, because it is literally proven that they have a high percentage of these animals that, this group of animals that actually do have melanism. Hey, Christina, how are you? Yeah, let's see. Hold on here, guys. I got to do something real quick that I'm forgetting to do. See, I'm still new to this, so all right, let's see. And back to chats. There we go. All right. Hey, Benno, how are you? So with the jaguars, though, I thought it was interesting, and I'm like, okay, well, they've got a high percentage where they're melanistic, and it's so I'm wondering, have there been any ones that have the leucism or have been albino? And sure enough, there have. And there was 2 that were born in a zoo in Germany a few years back too. I was trying to think of what it was. No, actually, it wasn't a few years back. It was about 12 years ago. Sorry. The other one was 2023 for the albino puma in Nicaragua, but the zoo in Germany, it was 2012, and it was 2 of them. One, though, you could tell that they were at the leucismic, because the one's fur was white, but you still have the coloring of the black spots. It's just they're white. And then the other one was almost like a cream color with the spots, and they were really, really cute. They were little fur balls, and I wish that I could have gotten my photos up here. You're going to hear that all night long. I apologize, guys, because I am so not happy right now about that. Yes, it was near the rainforesty hoot. That's where they're mainly located at, in that area, is the rainforest areas. That's where they thrive, and they have a good decent population there. All right. So I was trying to figure out, because I know that they also said leopards too, and I've seen both jaguars and leopards, and I know that they both get melanism and stuff. And a lot of times in the US, when you see them, because one of the photos that I had of the jaguar that actually Sam used in my little thumbnail that she did, which was awesome, was Mishka, and she's at the one of the big cat sanctuaries down in Florida. But I was like, all right, well, let's look into the leopards, because trying to find the range. Well, leopards, if there is any in the US, it's because they are pets, or they're in sanctuaries or zoos and stuff. And with the leopards and stuff, there's they can be jet black, like the jaguars. You'll still see the spots, but a lot of times with them, they still have that orangey color that come through and stuff. And they're over, in a lot in Asia. There's a lot in the Asian forests there, in India and stuff. There's some in Africa along the Sahara, and there's different types too, because looking into it when I was trying to find that, there's actually an area in Southern Africa where there's leopards, and they're actually, the scientists were looking, because they're actually smaller than the leopards nearby, and it's because they've kind of gotten themselves where they've evolved to the area that they're at and stuff. So it's neat when you think about all these like genetic things, because they were like, oh, well, what's going on with the genetics? They did DNA testing, they were trying to do anything that they could to try to figure out what the difference was. And all it was they had adapted to their environment, and that's why they ended up smaller, and they ended up having a great food source. No, Wojo, she wouldn't do that. Okay. Any donations are appreciated. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Yes, I am so trying, Richie. I'm like I tell you, I'm still getting used to all this stuff. This is my third show. I feel a little more comfortable and stuff, but it's still nerve-wracking, and I want to make sure I get everything done. I'm talking to my chat here because you guys are awesome, and I appreciate everybody stopping in and checking out the show. I want to make sure that I do right, but it's like I am so technology ignorant. It's not funny. Oh, we got a good thing here. Christina, kids finally go back to school. There we go. Awesome. I bet you're happy about that. Tyler, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Sam, Richie, and Christine can do it. Awesome. I cannot do that for oh, so let's go down here and do that one. So yeah, so with the leopards and stuff, but when you look into it and stuff, I was like, okay, well, let's see, because they keep saying that, you can't have a black mountain lion, but you can have one that's albino or has the leucism, and yet jaguars can have both. Well, what about leopards? And sure enough, looking into it, there has been, and I believe it's albino from the photo, leopard that was born in India in one of the forests. The forest park people actually got photos of it, stayed away from it, because, mama. The issue, though, when you have these animals that actually have the leucism and the albinoism, is it's weird because with those, it causes health issues, spinal deformities, shorter lifespan. But with melanism, what I find interesting is it actually helps with the darkness. It doesn't change anything. Their health is fine, and it actually helps camouflage them in the areas that they're in and stuff. We got you, girl. Keep doing your thing. Yeah, I know. I am working hard at this, Richie, and I appreciate. I know you got me. It's like I'm still gonna do my thing and try to get that in there and stuff. But was there a black cougar released and killed? But see, I have never heard of anything like that, Giovanni. I've never heard of a black one being released and then killed by authorities. Surely, if genetic change, you can have. That's what I'm saying. Curious you're correct. I mean, it's like the article that I found on the one in Texas, in Tyler, Texas. I can't remember who wrote that one, but they were very, very good at what they did, because they had mentioned that there's never been a documented sighting of one, so that they're thought to be not even, it's not even possible. But when they went through the stuff and they went through the, the cougar being albino and stuff, they said, but you have to think that there's a chance, it's possible, and there's always hope. And I like that, because you can't be closed-minded on stuff. I mean, I don't use the term Black Panther, because where there hasn't been one that I know of, like I said, I can't find anything of a documented one. They'll say it's not, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to say that people didn't see what they saw, because a lot of the times that people have seen these, I mean, one gentleman that saw one was actually an inland fishery, a retired inland fisheries and wildlife gentleman from out in California, and he was in Maine fishing up near Grand Lake when he had his, and he said it was jet black and it was big, and he knew exactly what he was looking at, because he knew what cougars look like due to the fact of, from where he came and stuff. I think gone from the realm of, do you think any, if these albino, see, they're rare. It's also the cheetahs. There was actually a post on Facebook the other day, and it'll probably be a topic in one of my other ones, but the golden cheetah, they photographed one, I think it was around 2014, 2013, and then they got photos again last year and this year on it. But before that, it hadn't been seen in 100 years. It's another form of a genetic anomaly, but instead of it being white, the pigment of the skin is lighter, so it ends up turning it to a gold color, and it really dissipates the spots. They still have them, but they're very faint, and they look all golden, and it's really, really neat. And to me, I mean, if you haven't seen it in 100 years, it kind of falls in the realm of cryptid. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, so with the cheetahs, though, they say that there's black ones. They actually do say that those ones are more legendary than anything, so it would fall under the cryptid category because they've been, reported in, where was it? Zimbabwe and another area. And, but I could not find any video or photo or, no, there we go. Wait. I couldn't find any video or photos of them. And there we go. So I don't know, but it's one of those that they say they're out there and they're extremely rare, and they call them actually legendary, which is kind of neat to think. And they do the same with the albino cheetah, although they say I didn't see one either when I was looking up, because they will show what they say are pictures, but they're not pictures of cheetahs. They're actually pictures of leopards and jaguars, which I find funny. Oh, yeah. Yeah, cheetah cuff. Actually, they're all cute. They're adorable. That would be, yeah, it would be. To see a black cheetah would be, and just the thought, it's just, these cats are amazing, actually all big cats and animals. I'm just adamant about animals, and stuff. But the ones that get me and is the tigers, because the tigers they're kind of all over the place. I first started looking into it when I was doing my research at the beginning there, with them, and I come across this article on black tigers, and I was like, oh, I've got to see. Have you seen lions on Africa Live Cams there? Yeah, they are really cool in the wild. Yes, they are, D-hoot. And so I was looking into it because I was like, black tigers, I got to see what this is. Well, it's tigers with the melanism, but they're not black. They have, most of their body can be black, or they'll have black blotches, and then they have like the ones that I sent Sam there to use in the thumbnail, where it's black on top, and then you still kind of have the orangey colors and stuff in there. And they're all in an area in India. I can't remember the name of the forest. Well, actually, it's right here, but I can't pronounce it at all. But what's cool about them is they're it's Bengal tigers that actually have this gene, melanism, and they also have the leucism one as well. And it's just neat because they're not all black, they still have the other colors. So it's almost like these little patchwork cats. It's kind of funny. I still remember watching the Beastmaster when I was younger. I love that movie. And they had that poor tiger, and I swear to God, they took the little paint there, the spray that people would use for their hair, and sprayed that poor tiger black, because he still had his stripes, but he was like, he had white around his mouth. He looked so silly. I was like, oh, yes. Mountain lions are my favorite. The tigers, though, yeah, they're gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, they live in this area, but and they do have the melanism, and they have a high count of it, but it's due to the fact that they're in an isolated area. And the sad part is a lot of that bobcat kittens are cute too, and they actually there's been 13 confirmed documented things with bobcats. They actually have it. Clouded leopards, I love those, are adorable. I actually shared one on my Ghost Cats and Cryptids page, with mama and the baby. They're no, that was a snow leopard. The clouded leopards are still in the same area. They're quite elusive too, and there's not many numbers of those at all left, but they're gorgeous. But so yeah, and then with the tigers, they also have the leucism, and the issue with that though is the fact that it is a health issue. They end up with the spinal damage, short life. They have a lot of health issues, and it is again once due to the fact that they are in a smaller area. Less small to them because I mean they're in a forest area, but it's a national forest area. But there's a lot of the inbreeding which messes with the genetics and too, which does not help. And then to top it off, they have the golden lions, which is another. It's that one is they're gold. They're just absolutely gold. They actually they have another name for them, which is the golden tabby tiger. And stuff, and that one is a recessive gene that actually it changes it causes the color to be more golden than the orange, and they still have their stripes. They're just not as dark, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Is Minx cats this? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I have no idea. Do you who? That's a good question. Let me write that down. I will look that up. Minx cats. I love this. Yeah, so they're beautiful cats too, because and they're a rarity, a very, very big rarity. I think I can't remember. I think there's only 30 golden tigers that exist globally, and due to the fact of the health issues that's caused from, because the recessive gene does cause health issues, and the same thing. It's sad because I don't want to see them end up being Max. Okay, I'll fix that. Tyler, Roger Williams, Sasquatch Howler. Woohoo. All right. And then yeah, so with the tigers and stuff, it's neat because there's so many, they've got the melanism, they've got the leucism, and then they've got the recessive gene where there's golden. So they've got like a variety going on there in India. You're amazing, Pace. And yeah, well, thank you, Benno. I want to start looking into the cryptid cats, and I've been looking into the Australia stuff. So if you have any info that you want to share, that would be great. I would love to talk that with you. Okay, what question did I miss? Okay, I missed a question. Hold on. Thank you, Christina. I want to make sure I get, where's Giovanni? Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, and now there we go. Which big cat is the strongest? That I do not know. I do not know. That is a damn good question. That is a darn good question. None of that came up in the research that I did, but that's because I was looking into genetic stuff. Although you would think that strength-wise it would come up because that is part of the thing. But yeah, I would, if it came down to it and I had to guess, I would say lions, just because of the fact that, yeah, they're the biggest. Hold on here. Let's see. There we go. Come on. There we go. Voila. Oh, what the hell is going on here? I'm having trouble. I like watching Lion Whisperer guy listening to sounds they make. Probably the most mad one. Yeah. Captions here. There we go. I finally figured it out. It's taken me a while. Yeah, so the last one though that's the last one to talk about on the program is the lions, and then what got me was looking into it, and lions, they also say the same thing with lions that they say with mountain lions. There is no such thing as a black lion. If you see any photos of black lions, they are AI created, or somebody has taken a photo of a white lion and they've just changed the color. So as it stands, lions and mountain lions supposedly cannot be black. They can have leucism, and they do. There's plenty of photos out there of white lions. There's plenty of photos out there of lions that have it, but it's not as bad. It makes their cream. It's like a cream color, and their mane and everything. There are lions in Africa, though, that in a certain area that have really dark manes, and they look almost black, but they're not. Yes, please hit the like button and the emojis. What have you seen, Sam? Oh, the white tiger, yeah. In Vegas. Yeah, the Bengal tigers. Yeah, because the ones that have the genetic disorder, they're Bengal tigers. So it's like, he's on tonight. I didn't realize. Thank you. And what's neat though is, with they have the dark mane and stuff and everything, but people will say that they're not black, and they're not. There's just a darkness. I mean, there was a photo from South America that went around years and years, and I think it's Old Hills Hay, with a gentleman who had supposedly had a mountain lion or panther hung from a tree that was melanistic, and it's an old black and white photo, so you really can't tell. And when they actually looked into it and stuff, it was actually supposedly just a really dark brown. But somehow or another, those animals are either like a tannish gray or a tawny, thing. They're usually not really, 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 really dark. So you would think that there was something up with that. Eyes, pink heart, shaped face. Yeah. So then you get into, when you get to the lions, I said I was going to discuss this last week, and this is one of my favorite topics. And I have always been fascinated by it, and I believe Giovanni was very, 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 very excited to talk about it, because he said he knew all about it. Is the Lions of Tsavo. Now, the Lions of Tsavo were two lions that in 1898, the British colonists were building a railroad in Tsavo over the river, and these lions attacked. They were man-eaters. They ended up becoming known as the man-eaters of Tsavo. They would literally haul people, the workers, out of their tents at night, drag them off, and eat them. And so I didn't think anything of, because I assumed it was this genetic thing. It's because things happen, and stuff. So, and I was talking to a person who is in the cryptid field and has been for years, and we were discussing it, and he said, oh yeah, they had this genetic problem that made them extremely aggressive. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Well, I decided, since we're going to be talking about this, I'm going to do a deep dive in, and I actually pulled up scientific paper from ResearchGate, which is one of my favorite scientific places to get any papers that have been published. I had to go through a list of questions before they would let me receive stuff, but I've gotten 3 scientific papers from them, one being the University of Montreal's paper that they did when they did their 11-year study with the scent scratch traps to find out if there were mountain lions below the St. Lawrence River. I can't remember what the other one was, but this one I did on maneless lions because they did a scientific paper that was published on it. Now with the lions of Tsavo, okay, they're running around and they're killing people, and they killed about 28 railroad workers. And then you saw the movie Ghost in the Darkness. It's based on that. And Michael Douglas paid the lieutenant colonel who was tracking them down. Although this lieutenant colonel in real life did track them both down. He did kill both of them, and he did not die in the process of doing it. And the 2 male lions are now taxidermied and on display, have been for years at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, which I would love to see them. So when I'm deep diving into this, I was like, all right, so what could cause these 2 animals to do what they did? And when you start looking into it, you find out that Tsavo has got most of their lions in Tsavo don't have manes. The males do not have manes. And it's unusual, but in this area of Tsavo, all the male lions, about, I want to say 85% of them, do not have manes. Some of them might have like little patchwork where it looks like they've had a bad buzz cut. No, they did. They ate their kill. These lions did. They dragged them off and they ate their kill. They were literally man eaters. Most of the time when it comes to some of the big cats and stuff, they will maul something to death. But these ones literally it was brutal. It was very, very brutal. And they were trying to figure out why they did what they did. And they have done DNA testing, they've done genetic testing, and they could not find any anomalies whatsoever. The only thing that they could come up with is not genetic. It's part of their system is they have the lions in Tsavo have extremely high levels of testosterone, and they believe that is what is causing the fact of the males to not have the manes like the other lions do, because their testosterone level is just enormous. And the research paper that they did showed that, yeah, in other areas it's not the same with the lions, and these ones here, it's just one area in Tsavo. What this is. Yeah, it was truly brutal. It was. Yeah, well, when they were talking about it and stuff, they figure because it's not a normal prey for lions to have. So technically, all they can do is come up with theories on why. And they do think that somewhere along the line, they actually came across a person somewhere, whether, the person was deceased or not, but they figure somehow or another it got the taste of human blood. And then after that, for some reason, they just decided that that's what they preferred. And yeah, they went on a major killing spree. Oh, Richie. Sam, you're so bad. So, let me see. Yeah, so what scientists are considering, the area of Savo to be, it's like a phenomenon. It's an unusual phenomenon, where it's just the lions in that part of Africa. The rest, there's no issues. They have manes. Bojo, I watched the one where they flew the helicopter into the Arctic. Oh, yeah, and yeah, like you said, easy prey too. I mean, they're sleeping in tents and they had nothing to do, but it was easy enough to haul them out. Oh, bad. You guys are being bad tonight. I love it. Uh, Gotta say, at least we're having fun. All right, let's go back up here and then back over here. Um, so yeah, gene pool too. Well, yeah. Well, that's what most of it is with the big cats, with different things. But they literally said they could not find anything in the lion's genes that would trigger them not to have to be maneless and stuff. Maybe the aggression part could have been a gene thing. I don't know, because the paper was mainly trying to figure out why the male lions in that area um, don't don't have them, and all they could come up with was the high testosterone levels, which was different. I gotta move across buildings. Peace out. See you later, Benno. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, thank you. No, I had to get this. This is a standing joke in my house. My husband thinks it's hilarious because I'm 3 months older than he is, and he always has to say, I'm married to a cougar. This was before my research. So I got this shirt from hashtag Save the Cougars. And if you can read it, it says, we are both cougars. So I was like, yep, there we go. I said, there, I bought the shirt and it's all because of you. So you can't get mad at me. Yeah, have a good night, Benno. Brain defect. Yeah, that could be too. It's like there's so many things that it could be, and I mean when they're doing tests and stuff, they're usually trying to find like one thing, maybe two, and they're not looking for all of, the things in um and it's still, there's still so much that's not known. And because they're taxidermied, I mean, they were using DNA from these things, and you can't get the full DNA, or to get things. I didn't see that. I don't. um, yeah, so it could be. There's a lot. I mean, Dehoot, you're right. I mean, there's so many things that it could be. And like I said, all I know is what they said they had tested for, but there's like so many other things that could have, caused the issue with the two of them and stuff. And it's it's definitely something that I plan on continuing to look into. Thanks, brother. Her name is Star. um, to continue to look into, because I find it extremely fascinating that, and being able to find that out when I was told, oh no, it was a genetic, thing, and that's why they didn't have the manes and stuff. And no, it wasn't. But like you said, something caused something here for them to be, because that's when you say, it was a genetic thing, I automatically assume, well, maybe that was the aggression, and it wasn't, but there had to have been something there. And yes, they're easy prey, but still male. Yeah, males. Yep, just males. Yeah. Rachel keeps calling her Sierra. Sorry, I had to get a drink. I'm talking too much here. Does anybody have anything else to say on it? We still have a little bit of time here. So with everything that I had looked into with the melanism, leucism, albino, um, big cats being albino, and then to find out the ones in Savo had the high testosterone levels. I just find it still very early that they still rule out the fact that mountain lions can't be black, because I just don't see how that's even possible, that you can literally state that fact when there's a chance for anything, any animal, or even people have, we have melanin too, and um, it's just one of those things to say that they can't. And the same with lions. Ghost cats are super cats. Thank you, Poncho. Well, that's this thing, Sam, is earlier. Yeah, they say that you asked, and what science will tell you is no, mountain lions cannot be black. But I don't like I've been saying, I don't see how that's possible, because if you look up different papers on melanin and stuff, it says everything. It's possible that everything, every animal can have be melanistic. It's just a rarity with some. So I would think that, yeah. What about oh, we're going to get into that another time there, Giovanni. I've got stuff on hybrids galore. So we're going to talk hybrids at some point, which will be the ligers and some others. Yeah. I was reached, doing the Cobble Mountain Critter Festival, and somebody had reached out to them about being a speaker, and at the time they were full up, but she wanted to discuss some of her research, and she's actually in Maine. She's a former librarian, and so they had me reach out to her, and we got together, and she does stuff with Bigfoot as well and everything, but she had some amazing stuff that had to deal with hybrids that I didn't even realize at the time. So she shared some of the stuff with me. I came home and I started looking into it, and yeah, hybrids and big cats. Yeah, that's been going on for a long time. A long time. I know that when my son was younger, he loved Napoleon Dynamite, and it's supposed to be a liger. Well, they'd already messed with that stuff beforehand. There's actually, I have paperwork with a report of a hybrid ocelot and mountain lion. So when I speak of the bobcats being so big here and talk to the wardens and stuff about the possibility of maybe where there is I don't think a whole lot of mountain lions, but there's got to be something here, because there's enough of us seeing it. Maybe there'd be a chance that they were breeding with the bobcats, and I was told I was foolish because they wouldn't do that. But yet an ocelot is a lot smaller than a bobcat, and so yeah, it was done in captivity, but it doesn't matter. It's like I've always said, life will find a way. I ask if those are all. Yeah, they are. That's my I've got beaver, coyote, I've got bear, I've actually got a couple coyote, I've got a lynx, I've got a bobcat, 2 mountain lion, I've got a bunch of birds and all kinds of different stuff. That was some of these were mine, and then some of them were the ones that were gifted to me by Nancy Dobson's husband when he passed her research on to me. Those and Dobby, my mountain lion right there, Dobby. I was very, very lucky to receive those. I couldn't believe it. I thought when I was going to see him to pick up the her work and stuff, I didn't realize I was going to come out with 5 boxes of paperwork, and then he was wrapping up skulls, and yeah, and then he brought out the mountain lion, which I wanted to cry, because I mean I felt honored to be able to continue her work, but No, the hybrid can't. But the thing is, though, is why um, I know that the hybrid wouldn't be able to, but I'm saying that there could still be a hybrid of the animal. I'm not saying that the hybrid can breed itself, but there are enough hybrid cats out there that I don't see why it's an impossibility for them to think that a bobcat and a mountain lion couldn't. I'm not saying they can. I'm not saying they have. I'm just saying that there's a lot of hybrids out there. Um, um, usually they I've not known them to stalk things for days. I have known them to stalk things, and yeah, it would make me nervous, but you don't see them. You wouldn't see them, and when you did, it would probably be a little too late. Sorry, Sam. Don't want to terrify you. I really don't. Can't say, Elder. Oh, you do? That's awesome. Yeah, I have quite a collection going of skulls, and I actually have got I've got a deer head. Somebody had gotten a deer 2 years ago, and we buried the head out in the backyard because he just wanted the deer meat and I wanted the skulls. So I've got to go out and unbury that and clean that up. I'm a weird one. I've told my husband when we got together, don't buy me flowers. I like dead things and bones. Yeah, no, you don't hear them. You don't. That's the thing if you're out in the woods and people are like, oh, I hear something, it's probably, a big cat or something. No, it's not. I mean, and like I've said too, I posted on Facebook today a happy birthday to my little sidekick. She goes out in the woods with me, my friend Sam's daughter Lucy. In the summer we have lots of adventures, and this summer we were out and we were in one of my research areas, and we actually spooked a bobcat. We didn't know the bobcat was there until it darted, and the only reason we knew it darted was because she happened to see it take off, and we watched it run into the thickets. All we got was the back end of it before it went right in and buried itself. But yeah, they're very stealthy. All the big cats are. Yep, very stealthy. You got that right. Yeah, hubbies have got to realize that we're odd ducks, but oh well. Well, I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate everybody showing up, and I hope you enjoyed the show. This one was a lot of fun. I'd been looking forward to it all week long. I sent Sam a bunch of stuff to help her with the thumbnail pictures because I was like going, I can't wait. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will try to figure out what my next one is, but I will have an episode here soon on hybrids, just because I think it's an interesting topic, just to see what has happened over the years, because a lot of the stuff, there's like articles that I've got that are early 1900. So thanks again. I'm hoping in a couple weeks to get the Vogels on here. I talked to Eric the other day, so him and Tim are going to talk because they are my Bigfoot rock stars. But they're awesome and their research is great. Thank you, Curious. I appreciate that. Oh, Elder, it's fine. Tonse, thank you so much for coming, Elder. And Sam, I got to get Elder's email address too, because I want to find out what she's got that I might want to get, because I saw those moccasins and I was kind of like, woohoo, I like those. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. Thanks, Previous. You guys all have a great night. Thank you, Wojo, Giovanni. I will see you guys next week. Night.